Hello and welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's episode, the first generation Honda Accord. Hello and welcome back. Now if you're new to Quartzlight, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars, car brochures, looking back on cars gone by, then please consider subscribing. It is all completely free. Now back to today's episode. As we said at the start of the show, the first generation Honda Accord, so let's throw that on the board now. So here is today's brochure then, the art of accordance. Honda Accord in the script on the bottom there, image of the car, quite nice overall. Might just zoom in on the image a little bit further, although you'll notice there is a little bit of damage there on the front of the brochure. So this is the first generation, ran from 76 to 81 or 77 to 82 in model years. First launched on the 7th of May 76, although I don't think there's actually a date on this particular brochure. If I just zoom in a little bit further, the front cover showing the 3-door example. There is also a 4-door saloon as well at this time. Notice just one little door mirror on one side. Lots of nice chrome touches which I really like, and I like this little, almost like a little mascot on the hood or bonnet there. Very nice. But anyway, let's open the brochure up and have a look inside. So we turn the first page. 2 examples going round some test track somewhere in the world. I'm not sure exactly where that is. Your introduction to accordance. I believe this is showing both the 3-door hatch and 4-door saloon. I think this is the 3-door hatch with the 1 mirror on it, and I think this is a 4-door saloon with 2 mirrors on it, I think, although there isn't any sort of text there to confirm or deny that. But anyway, let's have a look at the text. There is a special feeling you get from driving a Honda Accord. We call it accordance. Accordance means everything you and your family demand from your car these days. Traffic gets denser and petrol scarcer and more expensive. So you need a car with sensible exterior dimensions, but with lots of room inside. A car that performs effortlessly yet remains economical. Above all, a car that performs unobtrusively yet very efficiently. Throughout the pages of this brochure, you'll find out about the Accord's credentials and how, whether you choose the 4-door saloon or 3-door hatchback, the manual or Honda-matic option, you'll have an abundance of accordance. So we turn the page, we've got this nice little country scene, we've got this unusual sort of door-shaped picture showing the rear, which I think is the saloon version, and then we've got small pictures of the interior of the front and then the 3-door hatchback, all talking about sort of space. It says accordance, the art of the space age, showing how much room's inside. And of course these first Accords were a lot smaller, weren't they, if you remember, more like Civic sized really. But anyway, we'll look at the text and learn a bit more about it. Both the 4-door Accord saloon and 3-door Accord hatchback have ample room for 4 passengers and adequate space for 5. Honda believe that maximum interior space is vital for both comfort and safety. And to achieve this, the engine is mounted transversely, freeing up extra interior space for passengers. The hatchback features a folding rear seat which extend the capacity of the boot area from 12.95 cubic feet to a massive 28.69 cubic feet. And then we've got this little image of the front seats. Unusual colour, isn't it, actually? Unusual seat colour, blue. Quite nice door cards. Looks quite upmarket for the size of car in many ways, and of course that was the Japanese philosophy, wasn't it, to get people in these cars initially, give them lots of features, and of course the consequence was really good economy and really good reliability, of course, and that reliability made you want to buy another one, and they really got into the market that way. It goes on to tell us that the 3-door is shorter than the saloon, just 13 foot 6 inches long. So if compact dimensions and the ability to carry really big loads is important to you, the hatchback is the car for you. The saloon has beautifully shaped rear seats with a centre armrest, and its extra 9 inches of length allow it to provide a cavernous 15.97 cubic foot boot. This is the car for the family that puts a premium on limousine comfort in the rear seats. And then we've got a picture of the 3-door, really, which you'd think would be the other way around. But overall, a nice design. Like I say, not a very big car, is it, the 3-door? Reminds me more of a Civic, but I like the Civic shape of this era as well. Not the most practical car in the world, of course, being a 3-door, and that hatch is not much more than a lift back, really, is it? It certainly leaves a long way for you to lift items into that boot. I'm just going to manually move the camera if you don't mind, because they are the rear seats of the saloon, like it kind of like mentioned in the text there, and it looks quite nice. Talking about limousine, but you know, it wasn't a huge car, so there wouldn't have been that much leg room, but still, nice door cards, nice rear seats with headrest built in, which is nice, and that rear armrest, and the carpeting looks quite thick and luxurious as well. So we turn the page, we've got an eagle, and it kind of like describes why there's an eagle in the text, but still looks a little bit weird. Nice image of the front and the rear. I think these are both 3-door cars, and some text. Let's look at this image here, and then we'll come down to the text. So we get a red example and a white example, and I believe they're both 3-door models, these ones. Notice just one mirror on the red example. But let's move down to the text. Here it explains the Eagle. If you imagine the manoeuvrability and effortless performance of an Eagle, you are close to describing the performance characteristics of the Accord. Choose the 5-speed manual gearbox, nice that it's a 5-speed, or the 3-speed Honda-matic system, and you'll find a list of soundly engineered features. The list starts with the highly sophisticated engine, 1600cc, 4-cylinder overhead cam unit with twin choke carburetor. As you would expect, such an engine produces, and it goes on to say, plentiful power and torque. Just pausing to have a look at that steering wheel, quite an unusual colour and design. Superb handling is ensured by front wheel drive, rack and pinion steering, which is light and positive, and all-round independent suspension. Of course, the front brakes are discs, but Honda doesn't make do with fitting superb brakes. There is also a pressure control valve built into the system to inhibit rear wheel lockup during sudden or heavy braking. All these thoughtful touches combine to offer you a motoring experience which is stimulating, complement to your own driving skills. And then we've got a little image of that front disc brake and the top of the gear lever there, showing that it is indeed a 5-speed box. And then it goes on to talk about the inside and tell you it's quite a luxurious car, but let's have a look at the text. Where it tells us so much of everyday life is far from relaxing. The constant rush, noise levels, traffic queues, all part of life in the 80s, so there you go. It gives us an indication when this brochure is from. Remember I said this went from 76 to 81, so this is probably an early 80s brochure then. Model year, I think it went to 82, so 80, 81 maybe this brochure, somewhere around there, so certainly late for the Mark I, of course. Honda's engineers were determined to provide a car that was not merely comfortable, but designed with such an attention to detail that it engineered a feeling of genuine relaxed well-being, and how superbly they succeeded with the Accord. So first, the big things. The seats are painstakingly designed to offer the body unobtrusive support, it tells us. But I'm pausing here to have a look at that dashboard. It does look quite well equipped, doesn't it? So on the left hand side we can see a little Honda badge showing the radio, a little bit of a clock in there as well, and also rather nice, we've both got a speedometer of course, but also a rev counter on there as well, so certainly not badly equipped at all for the early 80s. The front seats recline and have head restraints. There is an AM radio as standard equipment. The windows contain very slightly tinted glass, reducing glare and maintaining a stable environment. The standard of finish is impeccable. Then the small touches, the magazine pockets in the front seat backs, the thoughtfully provision of a coin box in the fascia and the illumination of the glove box. All these typically Honda standard extras greatly contribute to the comfort of driver and passenger alike. And there we've got that little bit of a magazine, I guess, pocket in the back of the seat there. Interested in houseplants by the looks of it. Turn the page. This time at least we've got a nice side shot of the saloon, so we'll certainly be having a look at this. Talking about accordance, economy in style. So there we have a little bit of a side shot of the four-door saloon. Certainly a little bit more practical than that hatch, a bit more room in the back for sure. Overall I quite like the design of the original Accords, I must admit. Text-wise, the achievement of genuine operational economy becomes ever more important, and in the Honda Accord have succeeded in producing a car which makes solid contributions to balancing your motoring budget. By designing the engine to operate at 8:1 compression ratio, Honda allow you to run the Accord on 2-star petrol, an increasingly important aspect these days. Furthermore, the Accord's body is very efficient aerodynamically, so it needs less fuel to cruise at any given speed than less thoughtful designs. The manual gearbox option has overdrive fifth ratio, further reducing fuel consumption at cruising speed. A little bit of an image there, giving you an idea of those steel wheels and the design, and also those big rubbing strips. It goes on to tell us, and maintenance costs are kept to a minimum too. Contained in the speedometer is a set of warning systems which tell you when to rotate your tyres. That's interesting. When to change the engine oil and when to renew the oil filter. Lastly, the Accord's body is protected by wraparound bumpers and rubber fenders along the entire sides of the car, so you are less likely to suffer the expense of minor knocks and scrapes. All in all, the Accord looks after your pennies, I should say, with the greatest care. And then we've got a little bit of an image of that front wraparound bumper, and then this, like I say, that very unusual little thing showing when to rotate your tyres. Never seen a car with an indicator for that, and then also the oil filter change. Turn the page. Accordance, the art of safety first. So a nice little rear shot of that 3-door example, which we'll certainly zoom in on, and then we'll look at the text. I prefer the rear sort of aspects of the 3-door, but like I say, it's obviously going to be less practical and shorter as well. A little bit of a fog light hanging off that rear bumper as an afterthought, but that was very common at the time before they integrated it into the lights. Nice to see a rear wiper though. Let's have a look at the text. Whilst aiming to provide a real value for money motor car, Honda were determined to incorporate all the latest safety features in the new Accord. After all, in an emergency, you make special and unusual demands upon your car, so it's not only reassuring but vital to know that the care with which Honda have designed the Accord's brakes, suspension and steering maximise the chances of avoiding an accident. Furthermore, Honda have redesigned the rear light cluster, making you more visible to other road users at night. Another thoughtful contribution to safety is the provision of a cluster of warning lights in the instrument panel, which tells you of imperfectly closed doors or boot lid, and of the failure of a brake light. Honda also makes special provision for the demisting of the front windows, and of course the usual Honda attention has been lavished upon the design of all instruments and controls, and then we can see a little panel there telling you, if there's any doors open. And then we get to the last page talking about the standard equipment and specifications, even quite a nice colour choice type part at the bottom for the 3-door and then the 4-door. Looks like they weren't the same colours for each. And at the top here we've got the dimensions, but that's a little bit hard to show on camera, the dimensions. So we'll start here, standard equipment, we'll go to the specifications, then we'll go through this colour choices. So standard equipment exterior, so what's it telling us? Oh, it's telling us the difference between the 3-door and the 4-door, I guess. So front glass tinted laminated, rear glass tinted with electric demister. Driver's door, just for the driver's side for the 3-door it tells us. Side moulding protector, standard on both. Bumper rubber corner pads, standard on both. Mudguards front and rear, front only for the 3-door. Standard on all wheels for the 4-door. Seat is full tricot upholstery. Front reclining separate seats with adjustable head restraints. Rear folding for the 4-door. Bench seat with headrests and centre armrests. Seat belts inertia 3-point fixing. 2 magazine racks standard, but just for the 4-door. Inside rear view mirror, day-night breakaway system. 2 sun visors, pivoting vanity mirror on passenger side. Steering collapsible with lock. Choke, 3-position manual with warning lamp. Maintenance indication for that tyre rotation, oil change and oil filter change. Centre console just for the 4-door by looks of it. Ashtrays, 2 front for both. Ashtrays rear, just 1 rear ashtray for the 3-door, 2 for the 4-door. Side demister standard for both. And then hand grips, front passenger side rear 2. Door armrest standard on both. Childproof rear door lock standard for the 4-door because that's the only one that's got doors at the back. Carpet standard for both. Boot hatchback lever standard for both. Luggage mat, carpet for the 3-door, fabric mat for the 4-door. Trunk side pockets for the 4-door only. Glove box light for both. Boot hatchback area light standard for both. Rear fog lamp on both. Wipers 2-speed intermittent on both. Electric windscreen washer both. Twin band radio on both. Clock is electric actually for the 3-door. Heater 3-speed fan for the 4-door rear seat heat duct. Meters, speedometer, tachometer, fuel meter, temperature meter, trip meter. Safety indicators for the door, boot, hatchback, brake lamp. Pilot lamps for choke, brake, oil pressure. Charge beam, fuel hazard. And then cigarette lighter and heater panel illumination for both. So really they were actually quite high specs vehicles for the time. Okay, so the specifications, and really the engine's the same. So it says 3-door, 4-door, but it's showing both really, isn't it? So what have we got? So a cubic capacity of 1602cc engine, 80 PS at 5300 RPM DIN, single OHC tooth belt drive. Carburetor is Caheen 1-2 choke, 20x26. I've not heard of that particular carburetor before, I must admit. Transmission manual or hydromatic. Manual's a nice 5-speed, which is the one to go for, I'm sure. Suspension front and rear, independent McPherson strut and coil spring. Steering, rack and pinion with collapsible steering wheel column and steering lock. Brakes, hydraulic servo assisted. Fronts, got those adjusting disc, and then drums at the rear. And then it ends with figures I'm not really going to go through in great detail, so overall height, wheelbase, etc., maximum payload, tyre sizes, tyre pressures even on there, fuel tank 11 gallons, water cool capacities and oil sump capacity. But let's have a look at those colours. So colours for the 3-door. So in small print, first of all, it tells us, please note, due to painting process limitations, the colours shown here may show slight differences from the actual paint colour, kind of like the usual thing they always say. The white 3-door car shown in the brochure is not available in the United Kingdom. Okay, so remember the white one in the brochure? Not a UK colour, so strange. It's obviously not a UK photograph, that. So the colours, so we've got Saint Moritz silver metallic, Montparnasse blue metallic, Longleat gold metallic, Victoria red and Hampstead green metallic. So all named after areas, unusually. Not really a colour that really jumps out at me, although maybe that Longleat gold metallic looks very much of its time and may suit that 3-door. Or of course you just go for Victoria red, and it certainly looks quite nice in that. So then we go to the 4-door, and equally it tells us that the 4-door can't be had in red, which we certainly saw a red one in the brochure, so again, not a UK picture. So for the UK, you could get Saint Moritz silver, Montparnasse blue metallic, Livorno beige, Shetland white and Hampstead green metallic. I think I'm going to go for the green metallic there, but not the great colour choice you would really expect to see, but nevertheless. Back page, not too exciting. This big area was obviously been laid out for the dealer stamp that never happened, and then at the bottom, not a great deal of interesting detail even in the small print, to be honest with you. No date, just saying designed and produced by Adventure Honda UK Limited in London. Most of it going on about the usual thing of, we can change any of this at any time. So there we go, an interesting Honda Accord brochure for the early 80s in the UK. Do you remember these? Please do jot it in the comments. Certainly if you owned one, let me know how you got on. I think they were pretty reliable, maybe some rust issues, but certainly a reliable, well-built car for its day that was very well spec'd. But we'll end today by saying thank you so much for watching Quarterlight today and the Honda Accord. Of course, many more episodes to come of many makes and models of car, so please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free. You can even become a member. Certainly look at the homepage on YouTube for that. But thank you so much for watching today. You'll see a couple of boxes popping up for other episodes you can click on. But overall, please do take care. We'll see you very soon, and goodbye.